It's that time of year again. It's the fall. Hey, the kids are going back to school. We have got Halloween coming up. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And a lot of you, if you're in property management and you're in leasing, you might be getting a case of the fall blues. Why? It's a lot easier to rent apartments. Let's just be honest. The market is hotter in the spring and the summer, and it starts to cool off in the fall. Well, I want to talk to you just really briefly about some of my tips for leasing apartments in the fall, because it's not as bad as you think it is. And every time you think the market is slower, it's actually not as slow as you think it is. Let me explain. Yes, your overall number of prospects and the overall interest in your community may diminish a bit in the fall. But this is the time when the elite property managers and the elite leasing agents completely dominate the rest. Because the pros out there realize that even though there's possibly less traffic, that the people that are looking are far more serious and they're far more qualified. Although you may get more people looking for an apartment in the springtime, a lot of them could be kind of looky-loos, right? They're not sure. They might be looking for something later on in the summer or even the fall now. But if it's fall, especially the closer that we get to Thanksgiving and that phone rings, that's a very serious prospect. Remember this. People don't shop for apartments for fun. Nobody's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I don't know. How about we go look at some apartments and mess around with a leasing agent and make them think we want to move because everybody loves moving. No, it doesn't happen. So if that phone rings in the fall, I want you to know this. Number one, that is a qualified prospect. Number two, there are less prospects in the marketplace. So what does this mean for you? I want you answering those phones quickly, please. Especially in the fall. All the time, but especially in the fall. If you hear that phone ring, run to it. I would like to see you answering that phone within 3 rings. And you need to have a very specific process of figuring out what is important to that renter and getting them in. Because if they're calling you in the fall, it is a qualified renter. Now, another thing that people do in the fall, which drives me nuts, is they'll get a little down in the dumps and they'll say, hey, things are slowing down, but they'll do nothing with the extra time that they have on their hands. The fall is also the time for you to be beefing up your training, for you to be role-playing, for you to be rehearsing, for 2 reasons. Number one, you're going to have less prospects. So you want to make sure that you make the most out of every single appointment that you have in the fall and in the winter, because you're not going to get as many at-bats. Number two, what ends up happening time and time again is people don't take advantage of the less busy time in the fall and the winter, and then spring rolls around again and they're totally out of practice. They're totally out of training. They don't have a system. They haven't been role playing and they miss that hot season. So here's what I want you to do. Number one, I want you to answer the phone. Number two, I want you to make sure that you have a process in place for handling every single prospect. And number three, I want you to be using this time to get better, to train, to drill, to practice, to rehearse. It's going to be spring in no time, and you're going to be the best. But let's make you the best right now. Now, I can help get you better. We can do it in 2 ways. I can either train you in an on-demand platform right on your phone, right on your tablet, right on your computer through leasinguniversity.com, or if you want me to come out. My schedule is pretty slammed in the fall, but I might have a few open days. Call my office. I can come out and do a 1-day training with your people. The fall is the best time of the year to do this. Call my office at 888-735-7451. We'll work on everything to get you trained. But make sure, first and foremost, that you are answering those calls and you are handling those prospects, because a prospect in the fall is a much hotter prospect than a prospect in the spring and the summer. I hope this helps. Please give me any questions you've got and consider subscribing to this channel and hitting the notifications. I'm here to answer any questions that you have. I know, let's make this the best fall that it can be. I want you to be great. I want you to get those leases, and I will see you on the next video. Comment below with any questions you have. I'm happy to answer them for you.